In the arena of horror movies and chilling literature, there resides an evil person whose actual actions have become a source of inspiration for countless nightmares. Expand your knowledge of the convoluted mentality of Edward Gein. His spine-chilling story had a profound impact on society, giving both contemporary individuals and future generations the creeps. The disturbed mindset of Gein, which he inherited from his tumultuous family, found refuge in an unholy preoccupation with his mother. Uncover the dreadful account of Edward Gein, the killer whose killings provided inspiration for countless terrifying fictional works. During his childhood, Edward Gein faced numerous obstacles and had a rocky upbringing. La Crosse County, Wisconsin was his birthplace on August 27, 1906. His parents and elder sibling were his companions during his childhood years. A pious and authoritarian mother raised Gein. The man's father struggled with alcoholism and providing for his family. An environment that was isolated and unfriendly was what Gein was raised in. Instilling a fear of sin and immorality in her boys was Augusta Gein's way as a devout Christian. She exercised tight control over the household due to her negative outlook on the world. After Gein and his brother Henry's father died in 1940, they lived in isolation because of his mother's increasing control. Gein's mental state worsened after his mother passed away in 1945. He became increasingly isolated from others, retreating to the family's property to read and watch unsettling material. His interest in the afterlife grew during this period, which led him to create a woman's suit using human flesh. Edward Gein's abusive childhood and overbearing mother laid the foundation for his disturbed mentality, which ultimately led to his horrific crimes. His disturbed mental state led to his actions. After Edward Gein's crimes and unsettling revelations, the once peaceful community of Plainfield, Wisconsin was in shock. Their actions garnered attention from the entire nation. Bernice Warden disappeared on November 16, 1957. She was the proprietor of a neighboring hardware shop. Initially suspected was Edward Gein because he was last seen in the store on the evening of Bernice's abduction. Upon investigating Gein, officials found a scene that could have been in a horror film in his farmhouse. The reality of what they uncovered surpassed their worst fears. In Gein's decrepit residence, they stumbled upon a terrifying exhibition. Horribly disfigured human remains were being used as ghoulish ornaments. The things discovered consisted of objects like a bowl fashioned from a human skull, garbage cans adorned with human skin, and furniture upholstered with human flesh. By fashioning a woman's suit out of human skin and collecting female body parts, Gein revealed his preoccupation with death and longing to assume a female identity. As new information emerged on Gein's grave robbing, the horror of his acts grew. Using the bodies of recently deceased women that he dug up from local cemeteries, Gein created eerie artwork that was sure to disturb. Edward Gein faced charges of multiple murders and grave robbery after he was apprehended. His mental state led him to being institutionalized in a psychiatric hospital rather than being brought to trial. He served the remainder of his life in prison as a symbol of human depravity and the terrible places to which the human intellect can plummet. Some of the most horrifying and gruesome murders in American history are connected to Edward Gein. The proof uncovered about his infamy will endure through countless works of horror fiction that are inspired by his deeds. Both readers and moviegoers will hold on to them in their minds. It is possible to comprehend the disturbed psyche that compelled Edward Gein to perpetrate such heinous acts after perusing his psychological profile. A controlling mother leading a dysfunctional home during his birth significantly impacted Gein's upbringing. Multiple mental illnesses were diagnosed in Gein's psychiatric profile. His mother's poor attachment has played a crucial role in his attachment disorder. His mother's strong attachment may have made his troubled mental state worse. He experienced emotions of abandonment and loss following her passing. Furthermore, Gein exhibited indications of necrophilia. Paraphilic behavior involves a voyeuristic desire for sexual contact with corpses. His perverse fixation on death and plan to construct a woman's suit using human skin signify a severe psychosexual disorder. Maybe he was attempting to restore the connection and authority he had with his mother by glorifying her death. He was uniting with women who had departed. The function of Gein's psychological profile is not to legitimize his criminal behavior. The objective is to procure realization based on the diverse rationales that brought about it. Due to his turbulent history and vulnerable mental condition, he was prone to a life filled with delinquency and havoc. The indelible mark that Edward Gein's horrific reputation and actions have left on popular culture is particularly evident in the horror genre. Artists, authors, and filmmakers have been left with an unforgettable impression by the gruesome story he shared. Countless horror fiction works have been based on the tale of Gein. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, by Tobe Hooper, and Psycho, 1960, by Alfred Hitchcock, was among the movies that derived ideas from Gein's actions. Their themes of psychological terror and deranged murders reflect Gein's unpleasant personal life in these films. They also depicted the blending of reality and psychosis's borders. The impact of Edward Gein on culture was noteworthy, and the horror genre continues to feel his contributions today. Numerous movies, books, and works of art have portrayed his criminal activities and psychological characteristics. His legacy is now preserved forever in popular culture. By delving into the shadows of human beings, Gein has become a terrifying emblem. The minds of horror lovers will never forget him. In court, Edward Gein's destiny would be decided following his arrest. As his mental health declined, he became ineligible to stand trial. He was sent to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane in Wisconsin for his mental illness treatment instead. Following his transfer to a psychiatric hospital, Gein remained there until his passing. His threat to society was perpetually confirmed by assessments, which led him to remain in a mental institution until July 26, 1984, when he passed away. At age 77, he departed from this life. The criminality and madness perceptions of people were shaped by the Gein case too. The inadequate response of the criminal justice system towards people with mental illness was made into a broader discussion by his actions. It also sparked a greater resolve to address the issue. Additionally, Gein's name will forever be remembered in true crime canons and macabre lore. His life's work has initiated countless discussions, documentaries, and books about humanity's worst characteristics. The fascination and horror it evokes remain potent even today. While his acts were abhorrent, Edward Gein's legacy points to how mental illness and criminality can be connected. Our endless captivation with the most shadowy areas of the human psyche. The serial killer Edward Gein triggered a wave of horror in the media. He transformed the genre permanently. Writers and filmmakers have sought inspiration from his troubled psyche and misdeeds. Gein's influence on the horror canon and our attraction to true crime goes beyond his personal narrative. The human psyche's darkest corners are reflected in the enduring fascination with his horrific actions. The reputation of Edward Gein is forever connected with terror and the macabre in popular culture. So we hope you like our video. Then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon for more videos.